So, good afternoon. So, I welcome all to this last class of machine drawing. So, this last class, we will be seeing some more details about the production drawing. So, in the last class, what we have seen, we have tried to understand the terminologies which are associated with the production drawings. In particular, we had discussed about tolerances, then limits. Okay, some information was also discussed related to basic size, what is a deviation, how we calculate upper deviation, lower deviation. We also understood regarding what is the fundamental deviation. So fundamental deviation, as discussed, was the nearest deviation to the basic size. So with that background, we move ahead today and we discuss about fits. So fits are basically again uh, dimension related parameters, especially for mating parts. So what I mean by mating parts is parts which are working in tandem. For example, a piston and cylinder, or a journal and bearing, or like gears on splines, etc. So just to give you some overview what it is exactly. So I will take this example of piston and cylinder. So piston and cylinder, these are widely used in the internal combustion engines like the petrol engine or the diesel engine. So in the internal combustion engine, we have this, we have a piston. Okay. So this piston is reciprocating inside this cylinder. So I will just mark it out. So we have here the cylinder. Inside there is the piston. So when this piston is reciprocating in the cylinder, so what we have to look at from the perspective of the fit. So we have to look at the fit at this location. So what type of fit is it? Is it tight? Is it loose? Or it is just the right interference between the both the components? Now piston and cylinder, they cannot work separately. If I have a piston, I have a cylinder. So the purpose is not solved until they are working in tandem, that the piston is reciprocating inside the cylinder, so that this reciprocating motion of the piston is converted into the rotary motion via the crankshaft. Now this fit at this interference of this piston and cylinder will decide what is there any leakage. If there are pressurized gases above, so is there any leakage here or not? Okay. So when will leakage occur? When this is a loose fit, or if the piston is rubbing too hard on the internal walls of the cylinder. If the piston is rubbing too hard on the internal walls of the cylinder, so this means there is a lot of friction between the piston and cylinder, which means a lot of power, or a significant component of the power which is produced, it goes waste in overcoming that friction. So this means a lot of heat is produced, a lot of wear and tear is produced. Okay. So in such scenarios, a very important role of these fits comes into picture. So generally speaking of the machine drawing, I will not jump in very much detail about fits. So there are three types of fits. One is the loose fit. Okay. Then you have the interference fit. And then you have the tight fit. So loose fit, as it is understood by its name, means there is a significant clearance between both the component. So some looseness between both the components is allowed. So some examples can be like a chain which is rotating over a sprocket. Then interference fit is an fit where the clearance of both the components, it overlaps each other. Means it is neither loose, neither it is tight, but yes, a locking is there, but nevertheless it may be not be equal to tight. Then we have the tight fits. So tight fits are especially used where we don't want any leakage. So all the seals, lubrication seals, which are present inside, say, valves, okay, so they have the tight fit. Tight fit will ensure that there is perfectly no leakage of the lubricant and so on. So in such scenarios, the role of fits comes into play. So this is just a very brief introduction to what fits are. Although in this scope of this course, we may not be able to jump into too much detail. But for your perspective, right now it is important to understand what are fits, where they are used, and what are different types of fits. So you can explore more about this topic maybe later in later years. But for the scope of this course, this knowledge is sufficient. So now with this, I move ahead on tolerances and manufacturing process. Because in machine drawing, we are interested to come up with the drawing of different components as we have seen earlier. So we have seen drawings of various components starting from rivets, then threaded fasteners, then shaft couplings, okay, uh, and so on. So in all these cases, what we are interested is to come up with a drawing of that part. Now we studied that production drawings. Okay, just I'm connecting the dots now. So the production drawing I mentioned in the beginning. So these are used on the shop floor. Shop floor means where the actual manufacturing of the product is taking place. So on the shop floor, the product is getting manufactured. So what the BIS? So in India we follow the standards, that is the BIS standards. Okay, Bureau of Indian Standards. So these have adopted, in fact, 18 IT grades. So here we are trying to understand what are these IT grades. So it has adopted 18 IT grades which specify the tolerances of different parts based on the manufacturing process by which they can be made. So what IT here stands for? IT here is international tolerance. IT here stands for international tolerance. Now, what happens here? Why we have to pay attention at this point? So, any component, so there can be multiple ways by which a particular component or a particular part can be produced. For example, we studied in the PRT course production of threads. So I am talking here of external threads. So external threads, they can be produced using machining process. For example, using a single point cutting tool, and on the lathe machine, you can create threads, external threads. There was another process that we discussed, that was roll forming. So in roll forming, essentially there were two rollers in between. You slide past the workpiece, and the rollers basically they imprint or they form the threads on the surface of the cylindrical workpiece. But in case of forming, we observed there is zero material removal. In machining, there was significant material removal in the form of chips. Now you have these two shafts which have the threads produced by two methods, as I just discussed. So firstly, you have a lathe machine produce thread, and then you have uh, roll forming thread. Okay, so both are producing threads, but which thread to pick for which application? So this will be essentially decided by the manufacturing process. So what is the tolerance on that thread? It may be so that The roll forming threads, they have a tighter tolerance, or they have a very close tolerance. Okay, so they may have close tolerance. And the lathe machine produced thread, they may have a very open tolerance. So this means open tolerance means they have significant variation in the sizes compared to the basic size. Close tolerance means the variation is very small. Now, these IT grades, so we may assign a particular IT grade for say lathe machine. Okay, we may assign some IT grade. IT grade, say some number will come. Here also we will assign some IT grade, some number will come. Now, what we have to understand, smaller is this number beside the IT grade. Okay, so smaller is the number. Say, for example, it is given 1 here on slip gauges. So more, it is more tight tolerance. It is more close to the final or the actual basics. It's more close to the basic size. Larger is the number beside the IT grade, beside this letter IT. So it is more coarse, or there is significant variation in the size, or the tolerance band is wider. So what we have understood that um, IT grade, smaller is the number, narrow is the tolerance band. IT grade, higher is the number, higher is the tolerance band. So what is done here in this table? So different application or the processes, they are mapped to these IT grades. So although 16 are presented here, two more are there, which I will discuss in the subsequent slides. What are those? But what you can see here, these slip gauges, plug gauges, and gap gauges. So these are essentially measuring instruments which can measure very fine gaps, uh, or they can measure holes, the diameter of holes, uh, or they can measure, extremely precise dimensions. So in order to measure precise dimensions, the measuring instrument, it itself should have absolutely very close dimensions, means the variation in size should be very less. But if you look at on the higher side, so like for example casting, we studied about casting. So casting, it is a process where you allow a molten metal to solidify inside a, say, a sand mold. So in such cases, the tolerance is very high, because the surface which is produced is quite rough, and it may have to machined before going for the next process. But if you look at some of the machining processes, for example, lathe machine, milling machine, drilling, and so on, so they still have a medium type of a IT grade, means still some finishing is better. So the idea here is to tell you what are these IT grades. So these are international tolerance grades. So there are in total 18 grades specified by BIS. Smaller is the number on this IT grade. More precise is the object or the component. Higher is this number. So there is more variation in the dimension. Now coming back to the cost or manufacturing cost of such components, where the IT grade is on the lower side, you can understand that when lower is the IT grade, so the manufacturing cost will be high. Higher is the number, so accordingly the cost will come down. So this table here, this graph here basically gives us an idea. So of different tolerance grades. So these are different tolerance grades being specified here. So they start from 0 and they go to 16. And then here is the tolerance range in microns. So there is a band with each curve. There is a band. Okay. And what is interesting here to see that as the size of the any component it increases, so consequently the tolerance grade it increases. This happens because as the size of the component will increase, so there is a very high chance the raw material may have a higher volume of impurities, or there may be a chance that such type of raw material when machined or when manufactured may incorporate some defects because of maybe the raw material or because during the machining process. But of course control on the machining parameters or the manufacturing parameters is possible, but sometimes control on the raw material may not be possible as size increases. So as size increases, So if I have a size, say 1 meter cube of any uh, material, say mild steel, okay. So there may be a possibility, say I am just taking some rough number. So there may be a possibility that it has some 0.01% inclusions or some impurities may be there. But if I increase this size, say now this cube is 100 cubic meter, okay. So then in this case, the impurities may be higher. So now I cannot control, I do not have much control as a manufacturing engineer or a mechanical engineer. I may not be having much control on the impurity level of the starting raw material. So that is why as the size of any component will increase, the size of the raw material will also increase. Size of the raw material will increase, the probability of having impurities will also increase, which will lead to deviation or from the actual size because of other various reasons, and which because of which, though in that case the tolerance grade may go on a higher side. So these tolerance grades, so most commonly what tolerance grades are used in commercial manufacturing. So commercial manufacturing, the tolerance grades which are used, so these come from 12 to 16. And of course these are two most precise tolerance grades which we generally don't see in picture in use, daily use. So these are basically used for standards, for specifying the various physical quantities. For example, 1 meter, so there is a bar of 1 meter which is kept of I not able to recall the material right now, but it is kept in under some precise environmental conditions like temperature, pressure, humidity, and so on. So in that case, these are the most precise ones. So 1 and 2 and then 16 are up to here. So that is why I was telling. So all 16 may be used. 16 are generally more used, but in actual 18 international tolerance grades have been specified by BIS. So most of the measuring tools that you use, so they come in the IT grade of IT01 to IT7. Then for all the fits, so generally we look if we want to make an interface fit or tight fit. So accordingly, we have tight fits here on the lower side, and of course the loose fits will come on the higher side for the fit type of range, which ranges from 5 to 11. And for materials, of course, if we are taking any raw material from a supplier, so the dimensions of that raw material they come depending on the application from 8 to 15. So higher is the grade, more variation is possible. Lower is the IT grade, it's more precise. Now these tolerance grades, they are also specified using a standard tolerance unit, which is denoted by a small I. So don't confuse it with the iota, which we study in complex numbers. But this is a different I here, which is also known as the standard tolerance unit. So under this standard tolerance unit, it has a multiplier given to it. So this multiplier with the standard tolerance unit, it keeps on increasing. As you can see here, this multiplier is there, which keeps on increasing with the IT grade. So the reason is again but obvious, as the size increases, the IT grade increases, and similarly the standard tolerance also increases. If we are producing a part with very small dimension, perhaps we will not have very high tolerance in that case. In case very huge parts are produced, so a larger tolerance is specified in that case. So we'll just see how to use this information of IT grades in case of this tolerance to decide the tolerance grade and so on. So I'll come back to this table. Just first, I'll want to discuss how these tolerance IT grades are used. So for example, we'll take a small numerical example here. So we want to calculate IT10 for a shaft diameter in the range of 50 to 80 millimeters. So what is given that we have to calculate IT10 means we have to calculate the what will be the variation in size for at IT10. Now IT10 as it is specified, IT10 basically will come somewhere here. Or if we talk of the process, so it may be a shaft produced by say milling process or maybe rolling process and so on. So what we have to do in this case, if this is a type of a problem to solve, so we will use the information just what we have tried to understood, which we have just understood. So in this case, what we have to do is it's a very easy problem. So there are a couple of steps. So step one in this case will be to calculate the capital D. So I am using this IT formula here. So I will be using this formula to calculate the variation at IT level 10. So I'll be using this formula, that is 0.45 into cube root of D plus 0.001 multiplied by D. Now D here is special. So D here is what it is. It is the geometric mean uh, of the two sizes. So what we are doing here is essentially what we have to use this formula, that is 0.45. It is then cube root of D, and then it is this. So this, what as per that table, we know that at IT10 the multiplier is 64. At IT10, so the multiplier is 64 into I. The objective here is to calculate this value of I. So I, what is D here? D is nothing but it is the geometric mean. So when you calculate the geometric mean, you take D1 dot D2 and then you do the square root. So you will come up in this case in something of this value. So you place this value of D here and then you calculate the value of I. So which comes out to be 8.75 micron. Please remember the unit of I. So I is always specified in microns. And for IT grade 10, okay. So IT grade 10, it will be 64 into 1.875, which will give you a value of close to 120 micron. So this is what it was asking to do. So I have directly solved it here. So if you go by steps, so step number 2 will be to calculate the standard tolerance unit, which we call as I. This is known as the standard tolerance unit. And step 3 is to select the multiplier as specified by the IT grade. So since we were calculating for IT10, we knew that multiplier is 64I. So we multiply this value by 64 and we get this 120 micron. So this is one way by which the IT grades for different components can be calculated. Another way to do it is using the data books, in which we have tables as shown here. So if I take the same example, okay, I take the same example of 50 to 80. This is the basic size we were looking at. And we were looking at somewhere around IT grade 10. So in this also we calculated as 120. So this is what we just calculated numerically also. But if we don't want to use the formula and do the calculation, this type of data books are available in which you can look up at the tolerance grades. So both ways it works, but sometimes the dimensions may not be present in the data book. So in that case, the numerical way is the way to go. First you calculate the geometric mean, then you calculate the standard multiplier value, standard tolerance unit, and then you multiply it with a specified multiplier for the IT grade. So coming back to linking the manufacturing processes with the IT grades. So you can see that different manufacturing processes are being linked to the different IT grades. In particular, we have to see what is like casting. It produces the most rough type of components. So IT grade is maximum at 16. Then, of course, we have very close IT grades also, which are very fine IT grades. For example, honing, lapping. So these are super finishing processes which produce IT grades of 4 to 5. Okay. Then all other processes, for example, we have seen turning on lathe, okay, diamond turning, and so on. So these are the range in which the IT values are obtained. So depending on the manufacturing process and depending on what will be the final application of that particular component of which the drawing is being made. So these type of IT grades, they have to be specified on the machine drawing of that component. So of course, higher is the tolerance, higher will be the number, poor will be the quality of that product, because the dimensional variation will be very high. Now these tolerances, whenever they are being specified, so here I am talking when they are specified on a production drawing. Okay. So there are different methods. So first thing, tolerances, they may be specified with a plus and minus symbol. So as we discussed earlier, so suppose we have a shaft here. Okay. So we have the shaft. So we can specify the diameter of the shaft, say 50 plus minus 0.02 millimeters. So this is one way to tell what are the tolerances. Okay. Or you may also specify the maximum and minimum size. So you can, or you can also write 52. So this can also be specified. Okay, minimum and maximum size. Or you may use the fundamental tolerance, and then you may use two symbols which are combination of a letter and number. So this we will see in little detail how the fundamental with the help of fundamental tolerance we can provide the information about what is the tolerance level. So there is we are looking at this here. What is the fundamental tolerance method to specify tolerance? So where we use a combination of a letter symbol, and these letter symbols, they may be specified from A to Z, and ZA, ZB, and ZC are specified. So uppercase is used for holes. So as I discussed in the previous class, holes are basically a generic terminology used for components which have some internal features. For example, internal threads, a recess or a cavity. And lowercase of these letters may be used for shafts. Now shafts are the basically components which have some external, this is a generic term which specifies the components which have some external features like external threads, or there is a boss, or there is some type of a shaft, spindle type of a thing. In this sequencing of the letters from A to Z, some letters are not used in order to avoid confusion in form of number or maybe the dimension. So these are I, L, O, and Q, both in upper and lower case. They are not being used. And the symbol this symbol will represent the degree of closeness of the tolerance zone. So this I will just show how it goes, and then it will be more clear. So first I am showing you the graphical illustration for tolerance zone for holes. So as I discussed in the previous slide, that for holes we are using all these symbols, letters in uppercase. So all these are in the uppercase. So you can see here these are in the uppercase. What we are not using is I, L, O, and Q. So these are not used. Now here how it is given with respect to the fundamental deviation. Just to revise what is the fundamental deviation. So fundamental deviation is the nearest deviation to the basic size. So basic size, of course, as I discussed, will always come on the zero line. So zero line will be specifying the basic size. Now if the IT grade is specified as capital A, capital B, so this is giving us how close is it to the zero line, or how close is it to the basic size. So only one of the fundamental tolerance, which is specified here as JS. Please pay attention. One fundamental tolerance, that is the JS fundamental tolerance, it is equally spread in the positive side of the fundamental deviation as well as the negative side of the fundamental deviation. Means its plus and minus spread are equal, but in all other cases we accept JS, the spread is either on the positive side, either it is on the negative side. So if I say that I have some, these are generally specified like this, H7, or I have something like D6. So this I am specifying for a hole. Okay, how this goes? So this says that the basic size is 50 millimeters, and if I am saying H7, I'll come to what is 7, what is 6. But first you need to pay attention what is H, what is D. So if I'm saying H, means it is more close to basic size, and D, if I look at only D, it is not close to the basic size. Now what this is implying, so what this is implying is that there is of course there is some variation in size of this hole, but the H50 H7 hole is more close to the basic size, means it is more accurate, it is more representing what was the actual size, okay, in the design. And if I am looking at 50 D6, so this is also 50, the basic size is 50, but the deviation here is, it is more away from the basic size. So by looking at this alphabet beside the basic size, we can have a very clear idea where that dimension is falling based on this graphical illustration of tolerance zone. So this tolerance zone is then it is specified by the respective IT grade, that I will show in the subsequent slide how it is done. So this is for the holes, and this number is used to specify that IT grade. So as it is IT1, IT 2, 3, 4, and so on. So consequently, the numbers are there. So accordingly, that number will be specifying the IT grade. So if we look in the data book, so in the data book, the fundamental deviation for the holes. So you can see here that for JS, it is equally spread. So we have the plus minus sign. And for others less than JS, they are in the upper deviation. So every values are positive. And beyond JS, so they are in the negative fundamental deviation side. So all the values are on the negative. So I will give this example more clearly how this is used. So maximum positive deviation, a positive deviation is for zone A. So that was visible. So deviation, it keeps on decreasing from B to C until H. So at H, the deviation is 0. And JS, as I discussed earlier, it has equal variation on both positive and negative side, and IT is equal to half, IT by 2. So we'll see just quick example. So if the dimension is specified as 50 E6, where the fundamental tolerance with the fundamental tolerance, so how to interpret this type of dimension on a production drawing? So if this type of dimension is mentioned on a production drawing, how you will interpret? So generally in production drawings, you will find dimensions not saying 50, but it will say something like this. So here 50 is indicating the basic size. Means now it is clear that it is 50 millimeters. E represents the lower tolerance zone, that is again 50 microns. So how this value of 50 is coming? So if we go back to this size here, 50, and then in the microns also, here I think there is some mismatch. Yes, let me check. 50 E6. So we are looking at 50 E6. So basic size 50, up to 50, yeah. It is 40 to 50 range. So we will see E means it will come out to be 50 microns. Means the tolerance in the E is 50 from the data book, and then it is mentioned as 6. So for 6, the value tolerance value as per the multiplier. Now you go back to that table which we had discussed earlier. So it is 10i. So for 6, it becomes 10i. So tolerance value becomes 16 microns. So upper deviation becomes 66. So consequently, you can decide that the maximum size and minimum size by looking at 50 E6 in the production drawing could be uh, this size can be calculated. So similarly, these are used for shafts. So shaft is a generic term again for external features. Again, this becomes reverse. In the previous case, it was going like this, but for shaft, it will be going in this direction. But the meanings are same. Just the difference here is the lower cases are used for the shaft type of components. Rest things follow as discussed earlier. The example is still same what is being shown. And similarly, we have tables for shafts as well. So now if we summarize this uh, topic of placing dimension with the tolerance, so there are different methods. There are essentially 3 methods. First is with the deviations. You can present it with the deviations, means you will present the upper limit, lower. This we call as unequal bilateral, means on the positive side it may be different, negative side it may be different. Then we have unilateral, where it is only on one direction, either positive or negative. Or we have equal and bilateral, means the variation is same on both sides, positive and negative. Second way is to mention the limits. So this, in this case, you will mention the upper limit and the lower limit, so upper size and lower size. And lastly, we can use the fundamental deviations as we have just seen. So 50 C6, so it will give you the information of what is the tolerance zone. So maximum and minimum size, they are always separated by a dash on the production drawing, and this can be seen by seeing this example. And if tolerance are same for all sizes, so general note is included. So for example, this type of note is included, all tolerances may be point plus minus 0.02 millimeters. So sometimes all the components in the drawing, they may be shown with same tolerance. So instead of showing that same tolerance with each part, a general note is added for more clarity. And this is the final summary how the tolerances may look like on a production drawing, which just I have concluded. We have a basic size, then we have the fundamental deviation letter, and then we have the IT grade. Consequently, you can use the data book to look it up, and then the size can be decided. So for mating parts like hole and shaft, so both the tolerances have to be given for hole as well as shaft. For hole, uppercase alphabet will be used. For shaft, lowercase alphabet will be used. So this is all about the course about this topic. So if there are any questions, we can take up.